WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Like cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. See, that's the thing. I can count on Kaufman. I mean, he's dependable. He's a pro. He's always been great on TV and radio. That's why I rely on him. I can always, I know if I need that juice, I can always get a hold of Kaufman. I can't stand him. I mean, I loved working with him all these years, but I can't stand him because he's from Boston. I can't stand his smug ass. I had to do a 2-hour basketball show with him 2 days in a row. I wanted to kill myself. Talking about the Celtics every day for 2 hours at a clip. I wanted to jump in a river. And then, they win it all, and he's going to parades, and he's sending me jerseys to my house as a joke. He's nasty like that. And now I got him breathing down my neck in the AL East with the Red Sox over the last month being the best team in baseball. I mean, what is next?
No, keep going, Scotty. I'll show you. Here, you can see me. Here, look at this. You see this right here? That's confetti from the parade that you're talking about. You see that green and white, little silver? Yeah, that's boom right there. See it? You read the label, and it's from the Duck Boat Parade. Oh, so good. Yeah, that's you. Just take off the top, just like a candle. Just drink it in, Scotty. Oh, it's nice. That's the taste of glory. God. It's a championship. It's banner 18 right there for you. I'm great. You?
Oh, and let me guess. You took your boys to see the parade and the whole family.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, you got to get the kids out there. It's for the kids, Scotty. Listen, I know the players and many in the crowd like to be drinking nice and early in the morning and all that. The kids, they need the atmosphere. They got to get out there and see what adulthood is like from a sports fan perspective. I could have dealt without the guy in the front row kicking and shoving and stepping on my 9-year-old's foot here and there. But other than that, these are the sacrifices that you have to make when you're in the hub of sports, man. I mean, this is championship city right here. This is the championship for Boston right here, because I know we're going to talk about the Red Sox and what their dreams are. The Celtics championship, if you want to get sick, Scotty, if you want to get nauseous, maybe throw up live on the air for your viewers. This was the second longest championship drought in Boston history since they have had the Big Four: Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, and Celtics. And that drought was only about 5.5 years. So things have been pretty good around here.
Oh my God, it's just so painful listening to this guy. I have to tell you, I thought that and I know, deservedly, you guys kicked their ass. And that you were the best team in the NBA all year. You kicked everyone's ass. But the reality is that finals was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, if I'm just, again, like if I'm removing Boston bias and I would like it to be a sweep, 4 games, win by 20 points apiece, that's what you're rooting for when it's your team, obviously. But if I'm just talking purely as a basketball fan, the whole postseason was pretty lousy. But yeah, the finals were terrible. And I empathize with the people out there that, was all over social media, all over Twitter going, after that 7 to 10 day break, whatever it was, between the conference finals and the start of the NBA finals, we had to wait a week and a half for this garbage. It's true. It went 5 games, and honestly, most of them were not competitive at all. It was not a competitive series. You could argue that the Celtics sweeping the Pacers in 4 closely contested games was a more competitive, more entertaining series than obviously that NBA finals against the Dallas Mavericks. So yeah, I get it. Again, just purely as a fan with no rooting interest whatsoever, you just want to be entertained, for sure. But and that's how a lot of people were talking, 3 games into the Stanley Cup final, right? Like that's how I felt, because I didn't have a dog in that fight between Edmonton and Florida. I didn't really care who won. So I was looking at it going 3-0, like this is terrible. Who wants to watch this? And of course, we see Edmonton make a run, take it to 7 games, and then Florida ends up finally pulling it out and getting their heads on right and finishing the job. But there were a lot of similarities between those 2 series, at least at that stage.
So let's talk about the Red Sox. Why are they so good on the road, and they've been so average at Fenway, and they have been the best team in baseball over the last month?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's just kind of one of those fluky baseball things. I don't think there's really a reason for it. I mean, you could certainly say that at Fenway, the crowd fan support has not been as raucous, as loud as maybe it's been in past years. And so it's a little tougher to get up for those games. Not to make any excuses, obviously. These guys are professionals. You got to go out and deliver. But I think just sort of as we get farther along in sports, and maybe this sort of turned with the bubble during COVID times, in the NBA, or, in the first year for, be it Major League Baseball, NHL, and NFL as well, where there were no fans in the stands for, many of those being outdoor games other than NHL. I think it sort of removed home field, home court, home ice advantage in a lot of ways going forward. I don't know why it hasn't really followed, but I think if you look at a lot of the splits for a lot of teams, playoffs, whatever it may be, since then, it just sort of feels like it's gone. And so I don't know what exactly to attribute it to the Red Sox. It's, some teams say that, hey, we get to go on the road, we're out of our own beds, out of our own houses, distractions, wives, kids, it's just, boys on the road bonding, and we're close knit and having a good time, and it brings us together, and so we sort of rally around that as well. I don't know if that's the case with the Red Sox, or if that's just a cliche sort of thing, but you can't argue with the results. Like you said, they have been, especially compared to expectation, pretty incredible over the last month and a half. Going to the break hot, they're never mind in a playoff position in terms of a wild card spot right now. They're in striking distance to actually win the division. They're only 4.5 back right now. And that's, nobody, even at the highest levels of the Red Sox, nobody could have possibly envisioned that going into this season. And I think there are a lot of people, honestly, over at Fenway who are probably pretty unhappy about it, because they had no interest in spending on this team in the offseason. And now they may have pushed ownership and management in the front office to the point of having to invest in this team at the trade deadline in a couple of weeks.
So, I've heard these crazy stories that people believe that Cora won't be there next year. I've even heard that the Yankees would fire Boone and hire Cora. What are you hearing? Why in God's name would they get rid of this guy when they could catch the Yankees before you could spit? They could catch the Orioles before you could spit. Although they do have a brutal start, I think, out west against the Dodgers to start the second half. But what about Cora?
Well, they're not going to get rid of him. Get rid of him, getting rid of him implies like, hey, he's about to lose his job or something like that. The fact is, he's a lame duck manager. He's in the final year of his contract. They elected not to extend him off of, what have been a couple of pretty miserable seasons. And I'm not saying those are his fault. Again, ownership is not at all invested in this team. They have made some really curious, really poor personnel moves that he has just kind of had to deal with. Hell, he's been kind of sniping at the front office here and there, saying that, if you'd help us, if you'd invest a little bit, then imagine how good we could be, to sort of paraphrase a lot of the messages that he's been floating through the media. And so I think he's kind of at odds a little bit with upper management, knowing that he has not been given the best product to win with. So I think he's a little agitated, but also they have not put a new deal in front of him to sign him up long term. So he's here through the end of the year. He's not about to lose his job, but it doesn't sound like his contract is going to be extended or renewed. And so maybe that does open up an opportunity in the Bronx. He has proven he is an excellent, excellent manager, and he's going to have the pick of his job, provided that he wants to continue managing elsewhere.
Well, that is crazy. If they win the East, or if they get to the postseason in that wild card, they're in the third wild card right now. They got Kansas City 2 back, Astros 3.5 back. If any of those things happen and they don't give him a new deal, that is absurdity at the highest level. Go smell your confetti candle and hang out with your kids and enjoy your 18 banner. I hate you. Always good to see you, Adam. I love you, brother.
See you, brother.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Promise me, Carver High, that at the very least we're going to have Kaufman on during the NFL season if the Patriots are as bad as everyone thinks they're going to be, so that I can finally rub something in his face. Please tell me we're going to do that as a team effort, that we can have him on to abuse him, because all I get is Celtics this, Red Sox that. I can't take it.
Yeah, I'll take the under 4.5 for the Patriots this year. Under 4.5. They're not winning 5 games. They're going to be awful. Awful. It's payback time. They had 20 years of greatness. They should be repaid with 20 years of misery right behind it. So that's how it should work. That's how it should go for everybody there. All right, let me get you these last few things from the SEC from yesterday. I gave you one from Lane. Here's the other one. Of course, we have a 12-team playoff now. Last year, it's possible Ole Miss would have been in if there was a 12-team playoff. Here's Lane talking about it.
I do like, for college football, that there's 12 teams. I do think that's really exciting at the end of the year for more teams, and we've seen in other sports how awesome tournaments are. So I do like that. I don't know necessarily, and I think it would take a couple years to find out. Does adding the 2 teams to the SEC and making this super conference like it did mean that you're going to be more apt to get in, especially for those teams? I don't know that. There are way too many variables in the current system to me to be able to say that.
I think it's pretty obvious that what college football's plan is frankly, to have the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC have as many teams in that 12 as possible. I'm worried for the ACC. I'm worried for the conference's viability. You've already got 2 schools in Florida State and Clemson that would just as soon date a fat chick than be in that conference. They want out. They want out of the ACC. They want to disband it. They want to ruin it like they've ruined the Pac-12. And I'm sorry, but the Mountain West and all these other conferences, the American, all these other, they just, at the end of the day, they don't matter. They're not going to matter at all when you've got all these super mega conferences. Believe me, who do you think that they want to make money? The television networks and the NCAA, they want to make money. What are they going to invite a bunch of teams from the Mountain West? What do they got? One good football team every year? The American, how many teams are they going to bring from that? I mean, honestly.
It would not stun me at all if in the first year of this thing there was 4. I mean, I think definitely 3, maybe 4 teams out of the SEC. It wouldn't stun me whatsoever if a third of that playoff is made up of teams from this conference. That's just, we've been squeezing 2 in sometimes when there was 4, right? I mean, we had 4 teams and we were squeezing 2 in.
There's going to be 4 SEC
years.
every year, and there's going to be 4 Big Ten. There's going to be 4 the Big 12.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your tournament.
Look, we got to remember that the ACC is going to have their one auto. They get somebody in no matter what, and the Group of 5 gets somebody in no matter what. The Big 12 gets somebody in no matter what. So there's 3. I think the Big 12 is good for at least 2, maybe 3. But the Big 10 and the SEC are the two conferences that are going to dominate the amount of teams.
You think it should be like legitimately with the big heavies, 3 get in from the big heavies, and then you'd have 3 spots left for other conferences.
Well, it depends on what your flavor is. I think that's why this is the first year they're doing this. I think it is, like Lane said, it's going to take some time to figure this out. Do you want just purely the 12 best teams and you don't care?
That's why they need 14.
About anything else? Because, that clip goes on. Lane talks for like another 3 minutes, and he gets into, the Group of 5 team might be ranked 23rd in the country. The ACC winner might be ranked 18th in the country. They're not going to be one of the 12 best teams that are ranked. So are we doing the 12 best teams, or are we giving everybody a chance to get in? Think about if Notre Dame is in the top 12. They're not in a conference. That's another team that ends up going in. So there's a lot of logistics that are going to have to be worked out.
Would you rather, Mike, timeout, yes. I got 4 left. Timeout. Would you rather have a bigger tournament or those waste of time bowl games they roll out every year? They're embarrassing.
The bowl games are garbage. I don't need any of those. I would
get rid of
now.
them.
Look, when we say a bigger tournament, them stretching to 12, they're already starting. I think it's December 20-something. You know, they're playing those first-round games. I guess you could go 1 week earlier than that and maybe add more. But, I mean, they're already talking about, 16? And they haven't even played the 12 yet. So I think there's a chance that we're going to get there. It's just who's going to be automatically qualified to be there is something that's going to be discussed a lot.
How many bowl games? Like, I think there should be the rose, the orange.
Yeah, well,
the sugar, the fiesta. I think they should have those. But the mayonnaise bowl and the Bahamas bowl and all those other
But here's the thing.
Bowl,
they're never
go.
They're never going to get rid of those because, it's programming in the mid to late December. It's on during the day. I mean, what else are they putting on? These shows with guys yelling at each other at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? They put the Mayo Bowl on and you give the teams another game with something else for us to bet on. I think that in the grand scheme of things, the games matter absolutely zero. But it's something else that gets put on, and there's a value to it, ratings-wise, I suppose, compared to what they usually have on.
Honestly, so when I was when I got out of the hospital, right, and I had surgery, open heart, I was watching bowl games every day that were on in the daytime, and I got to tell you, they were horrible.
They're horrible.
Just horrible.
It's like we said last night with the home runs. Like, if you got gas on it and it's horrible, suddenly maybe it ain't horrible anymore. And it's better than watching what's usually on those channels during the day. So that's kind of and I believe me, these games aren't worth anything. They are insignificant, but I understand why they're there. But give me more playoff games.
That's why basketball is better in college. They got the big tournament, and then the football is too small.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. Are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
So you got to get in on the first bet 1,500 offer on BetMGM. It's styling. How do you do it? 4 easy steps. 1, download the BetMGM mobile app on iOS or Android or visit BetMGM.com. 2, sign up, open your account, put 10 in it, you're Gandhi. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. You heard me. And 4, if the bet does lose, your bonus bets are going to be available once your initial wager is settled. So you lose the bet, boom, once it's lost and it's settled, the bet, boom, they put $1,500, up to $1,500 in bonus bets into your account, and you're loving life. The first bet $1,500 offer at BetMGM is second to none.
It really is. All right, I have a lot of things to do and not a lot of time to do them. So let's go. I'll have more SEC stuff for you tomorrow. I'll have more Kirby Smart. Also, Brett Venables from Oklahoma spoke today. Elijah Drinkwitz of Missouri, who everybody's very high on, spoke today as well. So we'll do all that tomorrow on C2C. All right, quickly with the hoops. I know you did some of it with Coach. Bronny with 2 points last night. He's 0 for 15 from 3 in the Summer League. I mean, it is what it is, Scotty, at this point. I think if the worse he gets, I actually think maybe they'll leave him alone for a little while and just let him go, and they'll stop talking about him, actually. This might not be a bad thing for him. I mean, I'm sure everybody's piling on him now, but I think people will start to forget about him if he continues to play this bad, believe it or not. It's a crazy way to think about it.
I think everyone's so let down and disappointed because everyone was so caught up in the bull shack that it was. It was just a giant serving of bull shack that they were trying to not only feed us that this guy was going to be the number 1 player selected in the NBA draft. They tried to sucker us to bet on it that he was going to be the number 1 player taken in the NBA draft. And the facts remain, they're trying to shove him down our throats on a daily basis to this day, to this minute. Right now, last night, it's every day they try to shove Bronny James down our throats. And the reality is he sucks. He's not an NBA talent. He scores never. He shoots air balls and bricks. He hasn't hit 1 3 in a game in Summer League. Remember, these are the same people that were showing us his dazzling shooting at the combine in the corner pocket. Look, he can make 10 in a row with a guy feeding him jumpers. I told you I can do that drunk. And then I said, it's real simple. Let's see him do it with a hand in his face. He can't shoot at all when someone's guarding him. He never could score in college at USC. He should still be in college. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what his effing dad thinks either. His dad has to realize that the kid's not ready. They keep talking about how great he is and how incredible he is defensively, and he can guard all 5 positions. My ass, he can guard all 5. You know what he can do? He can put right guard on in the locker room after the game. That's all he can do. He does nothing. What does he do? He's done nothing in any game ever, at all. I'm sick and tired of hearing about him. I'm sick and tired of talking about him. He's awful. Yeah. That's just all there is to it. And then they try to play the card. Oh, come on. He had a heart procedure. We're supposed to feel sorry for him. Well, I had a heart procedure too. But I can still knock down shots with people in my face.
I don't feel – listen, obviously it's awful that happened to him. My level of feeling bad for him is more on the level of this kid's clearly being put in a position that he wasn't ready for. And he's been put in this spot, and he's getting scrutinized now every night like it's a summer league and the guy can't make a bucket. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, it might be good for him. You know, I always talk to you about, like, guys going in the witness protection program and just getting away from it all and just trying to hoop. Like, he needs to get away from everybody and just go play in that G League and not be bothered. Did you see Jaylen Brown last night in the front row at the game with Angel Reese? And I don't know the other girl's name. I guess she's the girlfriend. She used to be in the WNBA. I don't know.
Whatever.
But and now, look, that's why everyone always covers their mouth, like the coaches on the sideline, because they can read your lips. He's like, this kid ain't a pro. He ain't good. But he's getting the same thing we're all saying. But he's going to be on the team because of who he is.
But then he turned into the giant P of the month club when he took it all back and said he's got all the talent in the world. And he walked it back. Everyone knows that he said he sucks and he's not a pro.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. But that's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. You know, Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, a ton to do here.
Yeah, we do have a ton to do. That's right. We have the other Summer League games tonight. Of course, earlier we gave you the afternoon slate that's going on. Here's the night games. By the way, in that afternoon slate, Pacers are up 1 on the Suns. Knicks are up 4 on the Nets at halftime. Sixers and the Timberwolves, that's at 8 East, -4.5 for the T-Wolves. You got the Wizards -2.5 against Portland. Clippers -4.5 against the Bucks. And late night on the East Coast, Pelicans -3.5 against the Spurs.
Remember last night we said we didn't know what Portland had going on, but then they won. So I'll take them again in that 2.5. I like the T-Wolves because I like Dillingham and Shannon, and I think that team has looked good to me in the Summer League. They look like one of the best teams. Clippers, Bucks, Clips, and then Pelicans, Spurs. Pels -3.5. I'm down with that. But the one that I like the best in there is the T-Wolves. They're tough. They look really good.
And the Spurs are not going to have Castle anymore. Sprained wrist for him, so he's not going to play anymore in the Summer League. Of course, he was their top pick. Patrick Beverley's going to play in Europe. He's going to sign with a team in the Israeli League.
Thank God.
As far away as possible. I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for your reaction, and thank God is what it was. See you later.
Is awful. I am so sick and tired of watching this hack-ass Patrick Beverley play in the NBA with all of his bullshit and all of his drama and all of his fights and arguments and his mosquito. He's like a gnat flying around your ear in a tent on a camping trip. He's painful, and he sucks on top of it. He's a terrible player. It's perfect that he's going to play in Israel. Have at it, dude. Bye. No one's going to miss your hack-ass game. You ain't got no game. That guy sucked. Don't even tell me I'm wrong, Carver. He is so average. It's not even. No, he's a great defender. Shut up. He's awful. He's a hack.
He's a great defender. He's a great defender.
He's a great recruiter.
He's a great recruiter. The Knicks signed Cameron Payne to a 1-year deal, so somebody off the bench for the Knicks. Klay Thompson, a story this morning from Shams, allegedly went to Dallas with the promise of being a guaranteed starter with guaranteed minutes. Well, he wasn't going to go there and sit on the bench, obviously, so that obviously factored into the deal, Scotty. Next, James Dolan's not happy with the NBA's revenue-sharing policies. Of course, they've got several billion-dollar television deal that they just finalized, and I don't think James is happy because he has to split that money with the owners in places like Sacramento and Orlando and places like that don't have anywhere near the same fanfare and television ratings as teams like his and the Lakers, etc.
I agree with him. I think he's right that it's copycat. This Silver guy wants to be the NFL. That's why he does all these things like this. This deal is very similar to the NFL deals and the revenue sharing. Everybody gets, like you said, one size fits all, whereas you know what they do in New York and Boston and Philly and what markets like Sacramento do and San Antonio do, even if they have Wembanyama, what they do in Phoenix. I'm sorry, what they do in Cleveland, what they do in Orlando. I could go on and on. I don't see why it makes sense that they all get the same amount. I agree with him. I think they should get more. They make more money for the league. They deserve more money. They shouldn't be giving everyone else out the same amount of money as those heavyweights. It's as simple as that. People argue all the time with us on this show and on social media about my affinity for large markets. Well, that's because I'm right. Large markets are all that matter. That's all that matters. That's it. Whether you like it or not, you don't like New York, good. Tell your mother you don't like New York. Tell your mother we run everything. I don't care who I'm arguing with. I'll sit here all day and say the same thing. Don't even tell me I'm wrong. I'm right. That's it. Done.
I think you're right. Jim's problem is that everybody hates him. I think all those other owners hate James Dolan, and that's why some of them, just to spite him, won't agree with him, even though they should.
I understand why they hate him. He is a D, but I'll give him this. He stands by really who he is. He's always run things the way he runs it, and he does pay people. He pays for talent. He pays everyone handsomely. On the Rangers, the Knicks, he runs everything the right way. The Garden, Radio City, the Sphere in Las Vegas. As far as his business acumen goes, I think he's shrewder than certainly Hal Steinbrenner, and I think he's one of the smartest businessmen, certainly in sports, in New York, without a doubt. Obviously, people hate him because he is an asshat. The guy's a jerk. But that is neither here nor there. At the end of the day, he knows how to make money, and he's ruthless. And I like that about him. I don't have a problem with the guy.
Seth Curry back to Charlotte, 1-year deal. Anthony Edwards is going to star in Breakaway Act, the Netflix doc following the NBA stars around, kind of similar to what they've done with Full Swing in Golf and with the quarterback show on Netflix and all of that stuff. I think it's going to be like that. The WNBA rookie odds, you know the deal here already. We don't even have to do this. Caitlin Clark's going to win. There you go. I just summed it all up for you. Caitlin Clark's going to win the Rookie of the Year award. Let's get one Tiger in here for today. And then tomorrow, Scotty, we'll go full force on the Open Championship. It's a Golf Wednesday. Of course, myself, Cam Stewart, Keith Stewart. We got all the picks. We'll get your picks for the Open Championship as well. Let's do Tiger. Did you see Colin Montgomery last week?
Yes.
Say that Tiger should stop playing in majors. That's the one that I want to go with here. Tiger, of course, this morning was adamant that he can still play as long as he feels like he can win. And here he is responding to Montgomery, saying that he should stop playing in all of these majors.
Tiger, just to almost follow up on that, you've given so much to this game, you've given so much to this championship. But, there was comments, last week from Colin Montgomery who said, why is he here? He should retire. There's no point to this. do you feel that's a bit hurtful and you've earned the right to you make the decision when you decide?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
That's, I mean, you've earned that. You've deserved it.
So when I get to be at his age, I still make that decision when he doesn't.
I mean, that is just end of subject right there. That's the end of the subject.
He's right. Look, Tiger did the same old act this morning, Scotty. I still think I can play. I still think I can compete. Said he didn't take the Ryder Cup job because he just has no time on his hands whatsoever. It's the same story as always. We tell you this every major now. There's only one way you could play Tiger Woods if you actually want to. It's make the cut, and that's it. Because he ain't going to make it through Saturday and Sunday if he does. That's it.
I mean, we've come to grow accustomed to that now. That's inevitable. But I couldn't agree with him more that, well, obviously he's won it, so he has that exemption. Yeah. But I think that he has the right to call the shots when it comes to his career moving forward till the end because he's Tiger Woods. He's the greatest thing we've ever seen. Now, I was lucky enough to see Jack Nicklaus win. And it was a different time, certainly. And there were never as many good golfers as Tiger Woods had to put up with when he won all of his majors. Back in the day, there weren't that many great golfers. There weren't. No. And Tiger's had it way worse. And now, nowadays, it's even harder to win than even when Tiger was winning all of his majors. It's harder now to get to 14 or 18 than it's ever been. Oh. And they keep wanting to hand everything to Scheffler like he's going to win 18 majors and everything else. And we all know how brutal it is. There's too many talented golfers, Mike.
He's only won 2, and it's the same one. He hasn't won any of the others.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
All right, so John Browner, some people know him as a hooper, and certainly we know him because he's on the great Kaplan and Crew show on 1090 ESPN Radio in San Diego near Tijuana. Do you wanna? And the exciting thing is it's starting next Monday, the 22nd. Kaplan and Crew is going to be on SportsGrid every day live right before Coast to Coast from 1 to 3 East. They tape the show live in the morning in San Diego every day at around 10 a.m. So it'll actually be airing live on SportsGrid leading into Coast to Coast. And John is joining us now from San Diego. You know, John, it's great to see you. I've done the show with you guys. It's a badass show. You guys are great working together. Tell people a little bit about, you and the other boys that do it and what you guys have gone through to get the show back on in San Diego. You've been through hell and back.
We like to think of it as sometimes you could be great players and the team and the general manager, the owner suck. And that's what happened to us. The owner of the team sucked. The general manager sucked. And then we just kind of went out and was like, you know what? Let's buy the team. And we basically took what we had left over from when the station disbanded, and we started grinding it on YouTube. And we kept the show going on in YouTube. Shout out to the people at Callaway who allowed us to use their studio when we first went out of business. And we were doing the YouTube live from their studio. And we just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And that went on for about a year and a half. And then someone else purchased the station that we were fired from or, discontinued from. And we were the only person that they asked to come back. They came to us and said, hey, I'm going to buy this station. Would you guys be interested in putting your show back on there? We were skeptical of them. They were skeptical of us. And the best partnerships work when, both parties don't get what they want, but everybody's satisfied, if that makes any sense. And so now after a long road of, nasty business, of the way things ended with us, we back in business and we on good footing. And, joining SportsGrid is going to put us even higher up on the map. And so we're excited about this deal. We're excited to be, leading into your audience to meet our audience and our audience to meet your audience. We'll make a baby or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, SportsGrid got involved a few years ago and started running the technical end of the network for 1090. And I don't think people realize that is one of the greatest signals in radio history coming out of Mexico. And to get that thing back to life from basically a funeral parlor, it was dead to rights. And to bring it back, what has it been like for San Diegans and for people in SoCal? Because you can hear the station like at night all the way to the Canadian Rockies. You can hear it in Vegas on the Strip. I turned it on in Vegas in the nighttime, showed my friends, I go, listen to this station coming out of San Diego. What has it been like bringing it back from the dead like Jesus?
It's been phenomenal. Because when you see people who go, man, I thought that thing was dead, because people would still tune into it because no one knew why the station went down, because there's people come in and out as listeners. You've been in this business for a long time. And so the opportunity for people to kind of really be in the know, they're not. People are working, they got kids, ex-wives, court dates, whatever. And so when you find yourself in a situation where people come back after 6 months and go, wait, what happened to that? And they still check in. And then one day they check in, pow, it's on. People are like, wait, what happened? And so the way that we have been able to rebuild our fan base, reconnect with the community by starting to do events in person again, obviously post-COVID, we've been able to rebuild this brand. And I think because we've been able to rebuild this brand with somebody like Scott Kaplan, who's been in this business for 20 years, we've been able to kind of reestablish the foothold that we've had pre the station going down. And you can hear this thing solid in LA. You can hear this thing solid in Santa Barbara, like a solid signal regardless of the time.
Right.
At night, you can hear that thing past the moon.
So what has it been like for the three of you as boys, as friends, to see when you started doing it at the golf shop at Callaway, and then now I see it because I'm a fan and I'm a friend of yours, and I watch and I listen and I follow you guys and keep tabs and talk to Scott once in a blue moon. I talked to him the other day because I'm always rooting for you guys. What's it been like to see it blow up? Now he's got you guys are on every day. It's gotten huge. Everyone's talking about it. It's the #1 show in SoCal. And how, like Scott's sitting there in his house. He's got 5 million sponsors now on TV monitors. I remember when you guys were homeless. And now
pretty much
it's like a strip club. It's awesome.
Yeah. We're making it rain, baby, coming down that pole. You got to figure out a way to make it work, man. And that's what we've been able to do. I think when you were at Callaway, and you have no idea, because the show still had Linda Welby, who we still love and still come on the show. Billy Ray Smith was still a huge part of the show. And Alex and I were just kind of working our way in when needed. And so as the show continued to only be available on YouTube, they kind of had other things in their life that they were interested in, and they went in that direction. And Scott had the insight to bring a black guy and a Mexican guy on the show who were younger than him and were in tune with what was happening outside in the sports world and brought in different opinions. So it went from 3 white people to being this collective group of diverse backgrounds and sports opinions. And I think that is what made the show work, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's cool that it's turned into what it's turned into, and that you guys are all boys. He's been, from my standpoint, very loyal to you guys. And when I was talking to him the other day, just so you know, he probably wouldn't want me to say this, but it's true. He's that kind of guy. He said to me on the phone, he's like, I care so much about these guys and want them to do well so badly in life that's what this means more than anything to me, that we're going on SportsGrid, we're going national, we're going to be on Sirius 159, that I'm so happy for Alex and John. Listen, I got to let you go, but you're a badass. I can't wait for you guys to be on SportsGrid. I'm really wussed out on you for quitting to play ball, though, son. We got to work on that you quit playing basketball and you're soft. I don't know what happened.
I still got it. Come get some. Come get some.
You're soft.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on the side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It is Canada. Canada is one of those teams that's the darling of the tournament right now. They're still 9-1.
To win a tournament, or even to advance far into a tournament like this, you need a bit of good fortune. And it doesn't matter if you're getting the good fortune that Canada has, where they played 2 matches where they were up a man, or you had the good fortune of Argentina, who's one of the best teams in the world, who just got on the good side of the draw.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. Are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Don't forget to get your, betting slips ready for tomorrow on C2C with Carver High and all the golf gurus getting ready for the Open. Get your, pencil and your little pad of paper like you're like a bookie. You got to write it all down, get it all ready. Wednesday's show, we're going to make you all kinds of money for the Open Championship, Carver High style. He loves leftovers, however.
Yes, I do. We'll start today with Brandon Ayuk, who officially requested a trade from the 49ers today. Well, what the hell's he been doing for the last 4 months? That wasn't requested a trade what he's been running around doing for 4 months, so I guess now it's official. The Steelers will take him. Get on the phone, Omar. Get on the phone over there with the Niners and go bring him to Pittsburgh. Caleb Williams has signed his rookie deal with the Bears. So has Rome Odunze. Both guys are signed as the Bears rookies are reporting to camp. I don't know what takes so long considering they're all slotted and they all can only make a certain amount of money, but there you go. Nick Sirianni dismisses. Yes, they are. Nick Sirianni dismisses the Eagles' reported interest in Bill Belichick and the pressure on him to perform in 2024. We'll see how that goes for him if the Eagles go out in the first round again. We'll see if he still feels the same way in January. Probably. I would guess that could be the case. Patrick Mahomes ranked number 1 quarterback by NFL coaches and executives. Well, God, how'd they come up with that? What kind of hard work in the charts and graphs was that to figure that out? Maybe it was all the Super Bowls and MVPs he's won over the last few years. Great job, guys.
They all got together in the conference room. You know those conference room meetings.
Yeah, they go a long time. The Steelers and the Bills will hold joint practices ahead of their preseason game, which is on August 17th. So from the 15th and the 16th, they're going to have joint practices over there at
I just wanted to say ahead of time that I hate you. Just ahead of time, like a month in.
We will do that. T. Higgins and the Bengals don't reach an extension by the deadline. They'll play on the tag this year. They were never reaching an extension. Purdue and Arizona will play a 2-year series beginning next season in college track. Everyone loves that. Dana White says Noche UFC at the Sphere will only have 10 fights. It'll be very Mexican heavy. Everyone's waiting for that UFC card at the Sphere, Scotty. They love it.
I thought that when they called it Noche UFC that it would have some kind of a Mexican influence.
Yes, indeed. The Kings signed Quentin Byfield to a 5-year extension. He's going to get $6.25 million per. Don Waddell remains hopeful about trading Patrick Laine. Teams are interested. I don't know why. The guy quits every single place that he goes to. And the last thing for me is you said yesterday you wanted the mugshot from the Colombian soccer guy who got rang up down in Miami. There it is, Scotty, having a bad day. Your guy, the Colombian soccer guru. Mugshot right there. Not a good night.
He will no longer be the head of Colombian soccer after his performance in Miami at the Hard Rock, punching cops. He's got a.
And wait, one more bonus one. Southgate left England as their head coach. Gareth Southgate left England after they lost the Euros, and the United States have already reached out to him allegedly to take the job here. It would be a good move.
Well, there you go. For all of finish time, Skip Bayless is leaving FS1's undisputed at the end of the summer. It's always very uncomfortable watching him with Key and Pierce trying to be cool. Joe Bryant, Bean Bryant, passes away at 69. Kobe's dad. Pats wide receiver Kayshon Boutte has his underage gambling and computer fraud charges dropped. He's having a better day than some. 2 con girls charged in a callous romance scam that duped over a dozen elderly men out of $7 million. Strong effort by those 2. A woman sues for sexual assault after a Lyft driver took his junk out and then went in a plastic container in the front seat like Ferrall was in the cardiac unit in his jug off the side of the bed. My man pulled out the flute and went to the header right in the front seat of the car. She wasn't having it. New Jersey teacher accused of sexually assaulting teen student multiple times, including in his car out in the school parking lot. She thought it would be a good idea to maybe go out for a smoke break and to have a little small session. Family calls cops 37 times, receiving death threats from an encampment of violent vagabonds behind their dream home. What is happening? GTD is next. Go to VeroniaBench.com. You got to check out our new Profitable.tv with all of our videos with cuss words on them. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.